We're moving right along. I'd love Luis to go ahead and join us. If I'm not mistaken, the newest entrant to Nasdaq in the cannabis world, Flora Growth. Luis, am I saying that correctly?
That is correct, Elliot. Pleasure to be here.
Beautiful, awesome. My coworker Javier, he's helping me with pronunciations. So, thank you, Luis. Very thrilled to have you. You are the president and CEO of Flora Growth, Nasdaq listed FLGC. I'm going to let you take it right away.
Thank you, Elliot, and good morning to everyone in the audience. It's a pleasure to be here. First, let me introduce myself and give you a bit of my background. My name is Luis Merchant, as Elliot mentioned. I'm the president and CEO of Flora Growth Corp. My background is non-traditional as it pertains to the cannabis industry, mostly in retail and CPG. My entire career has been in the United States. However, I'm a dual citizen, which presented a great complement to our company. I've worked for companies such as Target and Macy's, the latest of which was Macy's, and I'd like to highlight a couple of roles for the audience. I was responsible for the sales organization in the beauty division, which was responsible for about $3.6 billion in revenue nationwide across 540 stores and 20,000 beauty advisors. And the latest role that I had with the company was corporate strategy, workforce management. I was responsible for customer experience and the allocation of human capital across multiple functions in the organization, including call centers, logistics, supply chain, and of course the stores organization. And that was about a $2 billion P&L responsibility for the company. Joined Flora as president of consumer goods to support the company in the development of a brand portfolio, became CEO of the company in June. It's been an exciting 2 years for our company. Of course, Elliot just mentioned that we launched an IPO successfully on the Nasdaq exchange under the ticker FLGC on May 11th. But let me just jump right in. So let's give you a few highlights for the company. We own one of the world's largest outdoor cannabis cultivation farms with a demonstrated low production cost. We have a very solid balance sheet. Last year, we completed a $30 million pre-IPO equity raise. This year, when we completed that raise, we were left with about 10,600 investors, 85% of which were located in the United States. And that signaled to us that the investor community as a whole was ready for projects such as Flora Growth. And it signaled to us that we wanted to go through a direct listing in a public exchange in the US. We selected Nasdaq, of course, because of the market cap and the accessibility to the investor community. And we were able to raise $16.6 million through our IPO. Obviously, we're in a great position by being listed in Nasdaq. And we have been able to accomplish all of this with an exceptional leadership team that I'll highlight over the next couple of slides. But it's a team that top to bottom is top notch and has been able to do a tremendous job growing this company. And of course, as everyone is well aware, there's strong tailwinds in the industry. The timing for us is very good as it pertains to regulations and laws, not only in the United States, but also in Colombia, where 95% of our operations are located. On the right side of the slide, I'd like to highlight what I consider our two major competitive advantages. The first one is Colombian cannabis cultivation. Our cultivation is an all outdoor cultivation process, and that have allowed us to demonstrate one of the lowest production costs in the world at 6 cents per gram of dry flower. This has happened for a number of reasons. One that I'd like to highlight for you is our ideal geography. Our farm is located on the outskirts of Bucaramanga, which is a land that is 1,500 meters above sea level with ideal growing conditions. Colombia is the #1 producer of flowers in the world and is the #2 exporter of flowers, second only to the Netherlands. In fact, 70% of all flowers that come into the US come from Colombia. And of course, cannabis, being a specialty cut flower, presents a tremendous opportunity for cultivation in Colombia. In our farm, we follow organic practices and are pursuing a national organic certification. We also have constant winds of 3 miles per hour, which reduce the incidence of pathogen. And we have a very scalable land package. And of course, this all contributes to the production cost that I shared with you in this slide. The second one is our premium product portfolio. We currently have 5 divisions, or almost 300 products. The list continues to grow on a daily basis, and 70 licensed to distribute both nationally and internationally. This is very important to us because we assess that it was a critical priority for us to diversify our portfolio and develop brands that resonate with consumers. and that, of course, give functionality and give the benefits that consumers are looking today. So these 5 divisions are across multiple industries in which we assess cannabis is going to present a disruption in the upcoming months and years. We currently have over 2,500 distribution points across Latin America and the US, and continue to expand our distribution of products and brands in our geographies worldwide. So a little bit about our leadership, starting from left to right. Bernie Wilson is our chairman of the board. He's a former vice chairman of PricewaterhouseCoopers and has been instrumental in leading our strategy. I shared already a little bit of my background, so we'll go right into Juan Manuel Galan. Juan Manuel Galan is a strategic advisor in Colombia. He's a 3-time senator and is the author of the cannabis law. He actually wrote the law and passed it through Congress. He also is the person that has put forward modifications to the law that will allow us to, 1, export dry flower out of Colombia into countries that will allow us to do so, and number 2, is start to manufacture food and beverage and consumables with infused cannabinoids. Stan Barty is a founder and member of the board. He's been incredibly successful in raising capital for over 50 plus companies, has raised over $3 billion in capital thus far. And then Javier Franco is where the art meets the science. He's our chief agronomist, and he's the person that is leading our farm operations out of Colombia. He has over 30 years of experience growing flowers in South America and Central America. So our international strategy, I think, this is where we create a big differentiator. So our 2 competitive advantages, of course, are our cultivation in Colombia and our robust brand portfolio. Now that we have completed a significant milestone for our company, we have set on this strategic pathway that first allow us to complete some places in the supply chain where we need to complement geographical areas, expand our distribution, or expand our reach. So when we're talking about M&A and our strategy, we're going to look for those companies that will allow us to complement our current geographical footprint, and that will also allow us to complement our current supply chain infrastructure. Number 2, we're only going to work in markets where we assess we're going to be able to have robust margins and have barriers of entry that are not significantly high, so we can operate and generate meaningful revenues and value for our investors and our consumers, short-term and long-term. And number 3, we're going to partner with strategic brand partners where we can provide some of the IP that we have developed, but that we also can leverage some of their know-how in terms of brand building and amplification of the product portfolio that we have currently available for our company. So on this slide, what you'll see is a summary of our current brand and product portfolio. As I mentioned, our company has 5 divisions. We currently have 7 brands and 300 products. And I'm going to go over the next couple of minutes. I'll highlight some of the great things that each one of our divisions are doing and the brands that we have currently launched to market. So starting with Flora Lab. Flora Lab is a manufacturing facility out of Bogota, Colombia. It's a 16,000 square foot facility, state-of-the-art, has 2 GMP certification and allow us to manufacture phytotherapeutics, dietary supplements, cosmetics, and skincare. This laboratory is currently in operation and it is generating significant revenues for the company. The laboratory, of course, has the capability to produce cannabinoid-containing products, and is already doing so for some of our internal brands. The Flora Lab portfolio is comprised of a number of acquisitions that we completed early in the year, including Breeze Laboratory, Chronomed, and Pharma. Alongside with those acquisitions, we're able to acquire a number of over-the-counter products that are registered with INVIMA. We have over 1,500 distribution channels when you comprise these 3 entities. And of course, we are also pursuing custom formulas, which is a very robust high margin business in South America, where we manufacture custom formulas with cannabinoids for consumers. These are margin rich, and it's a very interesting, fast growing market in South America. Our next division is a topical division. It's called Flora Beauty. It's anchored by our founder, Paulina Vega. Paulina Vega is renowned in the fashion industry. She's a former Miss Universe, a tremendous female entrepreneur who's the ambassador for brands such as Tag Heuer and Adidas, as well as Falabella, which is considered the Macy's of South America, a department store chain all over South America. She has over 5 million followers, close to 6 million followers on Instagram, and she has been the creative mind behind the brands that we have launched under the Flora Beauty division. The first one of which is highlighted here, called My Naturals. My Naturals was launched in Q4 of 2020, already being distributed in Falabella stores in several brick and mortar locations, as well as e-commerce channels all over in Central North America and South America. The second brand from this portfolio is called Awe, which is a high-end prestige line, and it utilizes a far larger concentration of active ingredients. Obviously, it presents better benefits for the more sophisticated and more involved skincare consumer. Sustainability is a factor and a value that we apply across the entire supply chain, and it shows in the development of our products, from our packaging being sustainable. We only utilize bioplastics or the fully degradable in products, as well as ingredients that are cruelty-free, certified, dye-free. We do not utilize any parabens. As our cannabis, which is organic, we don't utilize anything that can be harmful for the environment, the communities that we work with, or the consumers, which is where they're leading us today. Our next division is our food and beverage division, which includes a wide portfolio of juices, chocolates, snacks, butters, gummies, etc. This brand is also founded by a tremendous female entrepreneur in Laura Londoño. She's a very famous Latin American actress, and her alongside with her husband founded this brand, which we love and admire. There's a significant distribution of these products in Colombia, over 1,200 distribution points in Colombia. But we already are exporting our products into Central America, Costa Rica, the UK, and some other countries. This line of product has both CBD and non-CBD versions in them. And our strategy here is to ensure that we develop the infrastructure, develop the distribution channels, depending on the barriers of entry for several geographies. And when the geography allows us to do so, we'll incorporate the CBD versions, the cannabinoid versions of these products into those geographies. And then Hemp Textiles is our next division. Hemp Textiles was founded under the idea of maximizing the yield of the entire plant. As the audience probably knows, when you submit the cannabis plant to extraction, you only utilize 20 to 40% of the plant, generating crude oils, distillates, and isolates. The balance of the plant goes to waste today, and there are many industrial uses for it, including textiles, bioplastics, paper, building material. The first project out of this division is called Starduck Loungework, which is a hemp textile loungewear line. This was launched in Q4 of 2020. As you probably know, hemp is a superior fiber. It's natural, antibacterial, and sustainable. It utilizes a fourth of the water than, say, cotton crops utilize. It's highly durable and can be utilized for multiple uses, including frontline industries like hospitality, tourism, medical. And then, of course, it's highly antibacterial, which is a great textile fiber for the current times. Now, moving into our fifth division, which is the foundation of our company, and is our farm and extraction laboratory. Cosechemos Ya has achieved some incredible cost structures. And what you see on this slide is our production cost, which is 6 cents per gram of dry flower. That would be 60% lower than the closest competitor that we have. And that is for a number of reasons that I already mentioned, but I'd like to highlight once again. We have favorable growing conditions. Of course, Colombia is located alongside the equator, which means we do not have seasons, and there's almost 365 days of sunlight per year. There's a very low cost infrastructure. Our farm has natural water deposits, which means that once we set up the pumps and the irrigation systems, our water cost is near zero. Our electrical bills are like lower than $300 a month for our entire 100 hectares of land that are available. We have been testing strains from day one, and we have identified strains that have a tremendous yield and allow us for high density planting. And of course, I mentioned that Colombian is a powerhouse when it comes to floriculture. And because of that reason, we have been able to utilize that know-how alongside with the team that we have built to ensure that we have the best agricultural team out there in the industry. And also the affordability. When you compare agricultural skilled labor in Colombia to, say, that of North America, the cost effectiveness is about 9 times to that of North America. And for that reason, and the favorability of the dollar, we're in an exceptional position. And then, of course, our cultivation success. The Cosechemos Cultivation Farm, which is our cultivation facility, has over 100 hectares of cannabis. We have the rights to expand that 21 times as demand increases. We have demonstrated the production cost already, and we're ready to sell high quality cannabis at competitive prices worldwide. Now I'm going to finalize by
just a couple minutes left here. Sorry, I just wanted to pop in, let you know we have a few minutes left, Luis.
Yeah, this is the last slide, Elliot. I appreciate it. So we of course went public on Nasdaq on May 11th. We have a tremendous capital structure, 42 million shares outstanding, and we have 20.4 million options and warrants that will allow us to receive about $24 million in cash coming from them. Very minimal debt. We have $0.7 million. Most of it is operational debt from the company, and a cash balance of $25 million. And of course, with this presentation and the focus that the leadership team has put into making this company grow so quickly, the future is exceptionally bright for our company. I'll stop there, Elliot, and allow you to ask any questions.
I'm still just in shock over the 6 cents per gram. I don't know if I'm going to get over that the rest of the day, Luis. That's incredible. That's a value play right there, in my opinion. I do want to point out one comment, not necessarily a question in the chat, that the future of hemp textiles, super interesting to me, and something that's not talked about a lot, or enough, I should say, at least in my network and experience. So I'd love your thoughts on the future of hemp textiles, maybe to Unique Mill's point, to come out of the legalization movement.
Absolutely. I mean, like the hemp textile industry was frankly crippled by it being put under the umbrella of a Schedule I drug, and for that reason, the industry did not develop as fast as the cotton industry did. But when you evaluate the supply and demand gap of textile industry, there will be an 8-figure billion supply and demand gap over the next 5 years. And that gap is going to have to be filled by something. As of today, the world is manufacturing about 60% of all textile fiber is synthetic and is very damaging to the environment, of course, as you may appreciate. And of course, the cotton, which is the second best natural fiber and the second biggest contributor to that pie, requires a lot of water, requires a lot of pesticides. The soil gets damaged. So from a sustainability standpoint, from the durability of the fiber, hemp presents a lot of opportunity. And I assess that as this industry continues to deregulate, the machinery, the technology, the cultivation processes are going to be able to allow this to grow exponentially and fill a lot of that demand gap that exists today.
Super interesting, man. I appreciate you going into that. I do have to ask, do you feel different being CEO of a company listed on the Nasdaq now? I mean, is it life-changing?
It totally is. I mean, it's life-changing for our investors. It's life-changing for our teams. We assess that the day that our company truly started, like grew up and became a big boy, was the day we went public. The work for us is just beginning. We are focused on delivering value, of driving revenue growth, of making accretive acquisitions that will allow us to expand our infrastructure and growing our supply chain. But clearly, all eyes are on us right now. We are one of the largest now companies in Colombia. We have the opportunity to show that the Colombian grow and the Colombian cannabis industry can become a leader of cannabis in the world. And of course, we're focusing on the development of our brand portfolio that we feel strongly is a big differentiator for our company.
Absolutely. I love your brand portfolio, just on a personal level. I speak for myself and not Benzinga. But Luis, thank you so much for being here. You are here, a recent entrant to NASDAQ. If you could, in 15, 20 seconds, leave our investors with a final thought on why they should check you out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the two reasons that I highlighted, number one, we have an incredible cultivation facility, an economic moat with our growing conditions and the production cost that has been proven. Number two, our focus on brand portfolio that will allow us to develop revenues. And all of these two advantages cannot be done without our focus on people. From top to bottom, we ensure that we are hiring the best talented team, that we have the best members of the board that ensure appropriate governance, that we're utilizing every dollar in a financially responsible way, and that we're driving long-term value for all of our investors, and of course, in tremendous benefits for our consumers.
Fantastic. Luis, thank you so much again for being here. Nasdaq listed Flora Growth, FLGC, floragrowth.ca. Thank you again. We'll see you again later on a panel discussing going public in this industry. So looking forward
to it, Elliot. Yep. I appreciate the time, and you have a great day.
You too. Talk to you soon.